first off, deep breath. Somebody asked in a panic this week about the tax deadline. A reminder for you, that was put on ice along with pretty much everything else by our February winter storm. This year, Texans' taxes are due by June 15th. Now to the COVID-19 shortages. It happened with toilet paper, disinfectant spray, and bicycles. Well, let's throw used cars into the bag too. An auto shopping site reports that when the pandemic hampered production of new vehicles, used cars became an even hotter commodity, especially here for some reason. Copilot's best cities to buy list now shows the major metros in Texas near the bottom because our extra low supply of used cars is driving prices higher. In fact, they say a second-hand vehicle in DFW costs an average of about $27,000. Finally, you might be paying a lot to insure that car, even if your driving record is squeaky clean. MoneyGeek recently found that having bad credit score has a huge impact on your auto insurance premium, bigger than if you had a speeding ticket or even an accident. And that lines up with data from Consumer Reports from several years ago when they exposed how insurance companies use your credit score to predict whether you're likely to file a claim. As part of that analysis, they got a bunch of quotes, and in Texas specifically, look at the difference that they saw in insurance costs as they went from excellent creditworthiness to good to poor. They even found that someone with poor credit paid more for insurance than someone with an excellent score who had a DWI on their record. So yes, drive safe, but also try to maintain that good credit. As always, I have typed up more info and posted it with today's article at Jason Wheeler TV on Facebook and Twitter to help you stay right on the money.